Hey guys, this is P.M.R.Bonez88. So since today is a Friday the 13th special, I'll be talking about is Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. This movie came in 1988 and it was part of the horror competition between all the horror movies. Now this new director, John Carl Bleecker, who directed the 7th Friday the 13th, and Kane Hodder was the play as Jason. He did most of playing Jason in Friday 13 Part 7 through Jason X. But it really sucked that he didn't came back to play as Jason for the 5th time in Freddy vs. Jason. It takes place after Friday 13 Part 6 Jason Lives, and we see Tina as a little girl and hears her parents arguing and fighting. So she tries to run away and her father tries to stop her, but somehow she uses her telekinesis powers to kill her father or something. But it was really an accident, but she didn't know how to control her powers back then when she was a little girl. And 10 years has passed and she finally grows up and she goes back and gets some help. The doctor tries to help her, but he actually wants to see her use her powers for something, so some doctor he is. Next scene where we see Tina trying to go back to the lake and some memories of what happened to her father, and she wishes that he would bring her back, but somehow she accidentally brings Jason back from the dead. Gets out of the lake, he's free, and as you can see with all the makeup effects and all the wounds and skeletal bones that now he's being exposed, these makeups were like really awesome, and he looked like he was a big, huge, strong zombie now. So now he walks away, starts out killing people, and so now we see Nick and also a group of Mike's friends that are waiting for him to celebrate his birthday. And then we see Michael and his girlfriend that they're stuck and stranded and their car broke down. So they decided to camp out was at night, and then that's where Jason kills them off one by one. The only biggest effect ever is where Jason throws that spike right at Mike's back and just somehow picks him up and all the blood comes out. But I hear that that they cut off that scene because there was like too much blood, too much violence, so they had to cut off and edit out some of the blood just to be a little less violent. I did see the cutscene, the deleted scenes of Friday the 13th Part 7, and shows you of all the kills and bloody and really violent. I just wanted to know why they couldn't just use an unrated version to put it on the DVD or on Blu-ray. Just see a Friday 13 Part 7 The New Blood unrated. Just like what they did to the first one, that they had a rated version and an unrated version. But it really disappointed me that they didn't put all the Friday 13 movies in an unrated version. Except for the first one and the 2009, that they had the unrated version. And also in Jason Goes to Hell, but they had it on DVD. When I saw on Blu-ray they didn't have the unrated version and they had the rated version. I'd rather stick to my Jason Goes to Hell unrated version. So anyways, back to Part 7. Tina has these telekinesis power and also some visions, like premonitions or visions that she sees that already done before or done after. But she has like two visions. There's one scene in the part scene where she sees Michael getting killed by Jason. And then the next scene, she sees where Tina drives away. She sees Jason again and about killing her mother. So that was like a premonition in the future. Tina's power starts to get stronger. So now she uses them to fight off with Jason. So now this is like a one-on-one bout between Tina and Jason. And we see now Jason like killing, and his kills are very gruesome, and now very much more gruesome and not too cliche. And Kane Hodder does a great job to play as Jason. And almost at the end of this film, where Tina like tried crushing Jason's head and his hockey mask gets ripped and torn, and we finally could see Jason's face. The makeup effects, his makeup effects in the face to see as Jason, and with all the wounds and cuts throughout the movie series he'd been through, they were really superb. And the visual effects they were okay, but weren't as good or really realistic. Where Jason tries to kill off tries to kill Tina for one last time, and then she brings back her father from the dead, drags him down to the lake again. So that was the end of Jason for now. Somehow with this movie, it didn't have foreshadow. That was the problem, because this was supposed to be the last Friday the 13th series, but they decided to keep on making more Friday the 13th movies for more money and let the fans see Jason more. But throughout this movie was really good, and some people liked this movie, some people didn't really like this movie at all. But I liked this movie, and it was the great movie ever, and I really had this movie on Blu-ray and DVD. So to see with the storyline and with all the kills and the movie scene, the storyline, it really processed it. But there were some visual effects that weren't really too good. There were some modders or corny, or there were some scenes that we probably know that there's a production scene, or you could see a brick wall there. So there you realize this was on the set, and they kind of blew that off. But however, other than that, the movie is really good. So just to rate this movie, I would have to give it a 80.5 out of 100. I know it's a weird rating, but none of that, this movie was really good, and I really enjoy it, and this was one of my most favorite Friday the 13th movies. So I do have this movie on Blu-ray and DVD. And this is P.M.R.Bonez88 signing off and saying is, peace!